such an honor after the wonderful experience I had with MAJIC. It's so nice to come back and see familiar faces and new faces who are hopefully having the same wonderful experience that I had. As part of MAJIC, I'm sure a lot of you probably visited the Islamic Center of Southern California in downtown Los Angeles. And so if you have, then you know that the building itself is pretty modest. There's a busy sidewalk outside. There's a mix of people rushing to and from a bus stop, and some people who really aren't going anywhere and who hold out paper cups asking for spare change from people in too much of a hurry to pay attention. So this is, the diverse environment that the mosque is placed in. And it's the mosque that I grew up in. And whenever I walk in, all the noise outside quickly fades into silence. And I walk to the prayer area and remove my shoes, and I step on the really plush carpet, and it really it sinks my step, and it takes the quickness out of my step, and it forces a very gentle, measured walk. And my eyes gaze along the walls of the mosque, and I can see the beautiful Arabic calligraphy that reads some verses from the Quran, which say, "The servants of the Lord are those who walk humbly upon the earth." And that's a reminder every time for me of the true ethos of Islam. And that's the world from which I come. And my most poignant memory of this world is of my grandfather, whom a lot of you have told me that you've interacted with, and that's very nice to hear, Dr. Hathout. And I remember him holding hands with his dear long-term friends, Father George Regis and Rabbi Leonard Bierman, as he addressed a group of young people, a young interfaith audience. And his message to that audience was to reject cynicism. He said, "We are here today for you to bear witness that 3 old men have lived their lives believing that fellowship in faith and love in God are possible and are worth striving for." And it's from my grandfather that I have inherited my identity as a Muslim, as an American, and as a patriot. And I had always been told that I was those things since I was a little kid. I had, learned about Muslim American identity and everything, but it wasn't until I joined MAJIC that those different aspects of my identity really took hold. And I joined in my sophomore year of high school 2 years ago. And in engaging in dialogue with my fellow Muslim and Jewish students, I truly realized what it means to be a patriotic American Muslim. And that is to not only espouse tolerance, but full respect and admiration as well for everyone around you. And in studying Jewish sources and engaging in dialogue with my fellow students, I found that Judaism espouses the same philosophies. And yet, almost daily, it feels like these identities and the relationship between our faiths is assailed by those trying to paint an irreconcilable conflict between Islam and Judaism. And whether these are foreign or homegrown terrorists committing atrocities in the name of religion, or high-ranking politicians seemingly giving up on establishing meaningful interfaith interaction, like in the recent Republican debate, the overwhelming majority of the candidates were talking about how in dealing with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the gist of what they were saying is that it needs to be broken down into good guy and bad guy. Donald Trump, however, did not say that. He was one who disagreed with that. But either way, I feel each one of those affronts very profoundly. But remembering my grandfather's words and the relationships that I built as a part of MAJIC and the productive work that we did, I refused to succumb to that cynicism. Because through this organization, I was able to find that fellowship in faith that is so meaningful and so special and so productive. Over Seder and Ramadan dinners, I formed friendships that I cherish and that will be the mainstay of future collective efforts to uphold the values which all people of conscience share. And, you know, of course there may be things that we disagree upon from time to time, but we know that the eternal spiritual truths that we all agree on that unite us are much bigger than these ephemeral differences that would try to divide us. And it's those ties that bind that is the most special thing that I gained from MAJIC and that I will always cherish and remember. After graduating from MAJIC, I was so inspired by the work and the dialogue that I found in the organization that I started working as an intern with MPAC. It's an organization based here in Los Angeles and in Washington, D.C. It's the Muslim Public Affairs Council. And I undertook a project that is intended to study very early Muslim sources and how these sources treat topics of civic engagement and interfaith interaction in the very early Muslim tradition, you know, during the time of Muhammad's life. And in studying, I came across the what's known as the Medina Constitution, which is perhaps the earliest written constitution in human history, which outlines a civil, respectful, and egalitarian relationship between the Muslim and Jewish communities of Medina. And all the Muslim and Jewish tribes of the region are named and outlined in this constitution. And it is in this way that MAJIC inspired me and not only taught me about another faith, but truly deepened my understanding of my own faith and my own identity as well. And soon after graduating from MAJIC, unfortunately both my grandfather and Rabbi Bierman passed away. But although they have left a void, certainly, I know that because of MAJIC, they have not left a vacuum. And our consolation in their absence is that, and our pledge to them as their students, is that the torch that they lit has been passed, and that organizations like NewGround and MAJIC are instrumental in keeping it burning brightly. So thank you very much.